P.O.L. Game Review.
Hey, what up guys, Intravenous here, back with another episode from P.O.L. Game Review, and also P.O.L. Music. This is another episode about PlayStation 2 games, because I freaking love the PlayStation 2. And I am having a blast playing through all these old games, giving me really good reason to go back and try every game in my collection. If you haven't seen my previous videos, this is the fourth video including 5 gems for the PlayStation 2. As I said before, I don't like to call them hidden gems because some of them aren't very hidden. But some of them might be pretty uncommon, and you might not have tried them. So, without further ado, let's get into this episode of PlayStation 2 gems. We've got Chaos Legion, Legacy of Kain series, Blood Omen 2, Ghost Rider, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, and Castlevania, Lament of Innocence. So let's get into it, guys. I hope you enjoy. Here we go. Alright, so first off, let's talk about Castlevania, Lament of Innocence from Konami. A lot of people have tried going into these 3D Castlevania games after being in love with the 2D Castlevania games, and from what I understand, they never really hit the mark. This one is not really any exception. You know, it did very much feel like a 3D version of a Castlevania game, but there's a lot of empty rooms fighting the same creatures, and just, you know, every single lantern or torch that you break gives you a heart. Every single one. So you constantly have ammo for your weapons, and once you collect 80 hearts, it just starts giving you dollar coins every time you break them open. I'm not sure what the money has to do with things. I played this for about 30 minutes and got pretty bored. You go back and forth. There's a lot of, it holds on to that Metroidvania style where you go in different rooms, you find a door that's locked, you go back, go to other rooms, you find a way to unlock it, and then it's just repetitive. All the games that I've talked about up to this episode so far, I highly recommend, but this one I only recommend if you just want to see what it's like. And maybe if you are a huge fan of Castlevania, you're into the lore and stuff, you might be a little more into this to see where the story goes. I don't really have any urge to play through it more than I played, but that's Castlevania, Dawn of the Hunter. Leon Belmont, an 11th century nobleman and knight of the clergy, is about to be wed when his fiancée, Sarah Trantoil, suddenly disappears. Leon embarks on an epic journey to bring her back, unaware that a growing evil looms like a shadow over his quest. The majestic tale of Castlevania and the true origins of the Belmont clan of vampire hunters is about to unfold. Castlevania makes its next generation debut in full 3D. Unparalleled graphics and gameplay deliver the most enriching Castlevania experience ever created. I don't know about that. Developed by the creators of the critically acclaimed Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's good to know and kinda makes me more interested. Dynamic attack system offers damaging combo attacks, magnificent spell effects, and intense offensive defensive moves. Beautiful orchestral soundtrack and Dolby surround sound. That's true, the soundtrack is good in this game. Actually, the soundtrack's pretty good in all these games, to tell you the truth. This game is one player, of course, with support for the vibration function. Next up, we have Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge. I went and got this game because I heard a lot of good things about it. It is made by BVG Buena Vista Games, but Capcom is involved here, which makes it a little more intriguing. Plus, the movie is a great classic, and I'm pretty sure almost everybody loves The Nightmare Before Christmas. If you are interested in the story of Nightmare Before Christmas, and you are also interested in any lore that might be connected, I feel like when I was playing this, what I played, this is like a sequel to the movie. Jack Skellington is back, and he's armed to the bone. Unleash the shape-changing soul robber. Breathe fire as the Pumpkin King. Battle Oogie for control of Halloween Town. Also a one-player game. A lot of people told me that this is pretty much like God of War, and they weren't really wrong. Not as fun as God of War, though. In fact, it was so much less fun and uninspiring to me that after about 30 minutes of gameplay, I was pretty good on it. But once again, if you are interested in The Nightmare Before Christmas, some of these games are good just in case if you like God of War, but you want to play that style based around a different story, and you like for example, The Nightmare Before Christmas, then this might be up your alley. I want to say this game runs for about $20 or something. I'm not sure how much Castlevania is going for. Next up, we have Ghost Rider. And when you're talking about games that remind you of God of War, this is basically God of War, but in the story world of Marvel Comics Ghost Rider. So this is made by Climax, 2K, and Marvel, of course. Play the exclusive all-new story. His soul locked in perpetual servitude, Johnny Blaze lights up the night skies as his alter ego, the Ghost Rider. Help him protect others from experiencing his hell on Earth by bringing evil villains like Blackheart, Vengeance, and Scarecrow to justice. All new story from comic masterminds Garth Ennis and Jimmy Palmiotti. Deadly combat on foot or on the Hell Cycle. Defeat foes with special combination moves including Ghost Rider's deadly Penance Stare. Unlock secret characters, hundreds of pages of classic Ghost Rider comics, making of footage, and more. Free exclusive Fantastic Four custom comic inside. Bummer, I don't have that. This is also from Renderware and Columbia Pictures, Bink Video. This is a really good game. Honestly, I do want to play through this. I feel like in the past I got at least halfway through it, and it is God of War, but Ghost Rider. Highly recommended if you want to change things up a bit. I don't think this game's too expensive. Now, fourth, we have the Legacy of Kain series, Blood Omen 2 from Crystal Dynamics and Eidos. Kain is back to reclaim the high throne of bloodlust and brutality. Cast down from power by mysterious warlords centuries ago, Kain reawakens in a world he barely recognizes. His army slain, his vampire brethren nearly extinct. Kain is one of the last of his kind. With an agenda of vengeance, Kain shall unleash a wicked wrath to uncover the plot that threatens the land he seeks to conquer. Execute fierce attacks and brutal combos with battle axes, swords, and other heavy metal weaponry. When weapon edges dull on bone and steel, turn to dark gifts such as berserk and stealth to exact your lethal will. In pursuit of power or just for the thrill of the kill, Kain's lust for blood is inspiring. Lead Kain through highly detailed environments of gothic nightmares. Hosts of thieves, knights, and demons of all sort. Also a one-player game. The theme here, if you haven't gotten it yet, is all these games either are like God of War, Devil May Cry, or a mixture of both. So far there's been a little bit of every one of these in here, and this one kind of fits in there too. It's, the story seems interesting. I like the design of the main character in the Soul Reaver series more. The way the vampires look in this aren't as cool to me, but as far as I know, I think the Blood Omen series leads up to Legacy of Kain, a Soul Reaver. I might be wrong. The Legacy of Kain series, all the games are pretty awesome and interesting. I haven't played Defiance, and I just picked up Soul Reaver 2, and I'm going to play through that soon. I love the first Soul Reaver. I haven't played Blood Omen, the first Blood Omen either, but they're usually pretty fun. I know there's also some comic books, as I've seen through some people on Instagram. There's some big collectors and followers of this series, and I would recommend it. I think this game's probably like $20, something like that. Alright then, so last but not least, we have Chaos Legion from Capcom. Chaos Legion is a really fun game, and I probably played this one the longest. I think I played it for like an hour or so before I stopped capturing footage. You play through stages, and you get scores at the end of every stage and ratings. There's a lot of hack and slash. There's a lot of beat 'em up. This is very much like Devil May Cry. It also kind of reminds me of Sword of Berserk back in the day on the Sega Dreamcast. Savage by nature, play as young knight Siege Warhite, who must face off against an old friend in this gothic action adventure. To fight, summon and command 7 different warrior legions, each with their own signature weaponry. Chaos Legion, a graphic masterpiece and savage gothic opera played out through intense and challenging levels of real-time cutthroat action. And there's a quote from PSM Magazine: "If you loved Devil May Cry, you'll love Chaos Legion." Now the Legion part of the name, these legions that it says you collect, they're like special powers. So they are special powers, I guess, that you activate using the souls that you collect. I think it's called soul power. And you build up this meter, and then you can use these guys. They're kind of like the Efreets or something from Final Fantasy. They're these demons, different creatures that come out. Each one has their own ability. In this footage, I think mainly you'll see me using the, what was it called? The Guild Legion? I forget the name exactly, but it brings out 3 characters that you can either set to defend or attack, and they all attack with you. So you're running around plowing through mass amounts of enemies with you and 3 other guys, chopping, hacking, and slashing. You also have this ability where with a circle you can freeze them with like this electricity, ties them up with electricity and stuns them. So you're like stunning people and hitting people and blocking. It's really fun. And you know, maybe Dynasty Warriors, you could compare that a little bit in the amount of enemies that you're fighting at once. But of all these, I would recommend this one maybe the most, probably just because that's my mood, you know. They're all good games. The ones I would recommend the least would be Castlevania and Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge. But to each his own. As I said before, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. These were 5 action-adventure games that remind me of God of War and or Devil May Cry. All fun to play. None of them are too expensive, I believe. At least not yet. And, you know, check them out. As I said before, and possibly at the beginning of this video, I have over 400 PlayStation 2 games, and I'm going to keep making these. I'm going to do a second one on survival horror pretty soon, and I also want to do a video with comparing PS2 games that were also released on the PlayStation Portable, and do side-by-side screens and compare the gameplay and how big the games are, and if they are duplicates or, you know, quite different. So thanks so much for sticking around this long throughout the entire episode. I really appreciate it. If you guys like it, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps me out. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. That's totally fine. And don't forget to check out my music. I go by Intravenous. And my newest album, Growing Pains, is out on all music streaming platforms. I also have a new single out called Bang Bang. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you on the next one, and stay tuned. Have a wonderful day and evening. Peace!
I don't know, William. I don't know, Venom.